I've already taken the still photos of the vehicle with an emphasis on any cosmetic blemishes and panel alignment, or maybe some issues with the chrome or anything else. What's nice about the video and the photos, it serves as a punch list as well. So if there's some issues that you weren't aware of, or something you needed a reminder of that you want to get taken care of, it works as a good checklist as well. So this moving in, so the car presents well. I know there had some issues with the hood. I know they had to borrow some parts to make the test drive possible today, because I'll point out the back of the panel there where it's raised. But this is pushing in here a little bit. I did notice that the gap between the front bumper here and the fenders on both sides slightly off, less than perfect, right? And then the hardware is protruding out here. So again, it's just a question of what level you want to take it to, but I just point stuff out. Okay, chrome looks decent, right? The grill is in good shape. This used an electromagnetic paint meter. It reads in the thousandths of an inch, and if we get a specific reading of 19.7 greater than, that's an indication of body filler. If we don't get no reading, then that's a really thick body filler. So here we go. 17, 12. Okay, there's our first reading of 19.7. So body filler here, and here on the back side. All right, we're gonna make our way towards the other side here. Again, grill, good shape, headlamps nicely secured. There's a light coating of dust here. So the paint, I think it smells, it feels smooth, but I'm sure after sitting for so long, the dust is starting to settle in. So it'll probably need a nice professional grade detail when that time comes. All right, let's get some readings here on the left side. Okay, 19.7, 12.5, and 16.5. Okay, looking at these vents, good, nice. Here you can see where the hood is protruding here on the left rear. Right side looks good, but it's the left side where it's raised. I'm gonna try pushing down now. Yep, so I can correct it by pushing down on it, but just so you know. Looking at the windshield, what I'm checking for are any obvious chips, cracks, or any signs of delamination. And also look at the bright work as well on the windshield trim, checking for dents, blemishes, or what have you. So far looking pretty good. Nothing obvious jumping out at me here. You can just see where a little lack of attention to detail here, where you can see the sealant for the windshield is kind of oozing out there, but it's really kind of difficult to see. And then I've got a still photo of the public VIN. All right, looking at the left wheel area, I just noticed here on the wheel well trim here, it's this there's a little blemish here, and I always like to get a shot of the wheel well area. Try to capture as many angles as possible. With the photo, I'm here looking at it visually, and then video too. And I still review this when I put the report together. All right, you can see where the hardware is missing here, or it became detached for the wheel well cover. While I'm down here, I always like to do a side view of the panels. What we're looking for are signs of waviness, dings, or dents. So far, nothing really jumping out at me. The gaps, I still analyze those when I'm back at the office here, and you can see where some touch-up work was done there. All right, outside mirror nicely secured, and before I walk away, here's a top view of the convertible top. I won't try to operate it. I spoke to Lynn actually before I started the inspection on the car. I needed to ask them what can be tested, what shouldn't be touched, because I don't want to set them back as far as the work that they've done. And if something's like halfway done or shouldn't be messed with, I wanted them to tell me now, so I don't mess anything up. Okay. Moving on, glass. Again, I just check for just some little light scratches right here, real faint. I didn't even see them the first time around. This is why I like to make 2 or 3 passes, because something doesn't really jump out at me. If I happen to catch the right angle, the lighting is dead on, then some of that stuff will come up. Here, the chrome will need some attention here. You can see where just a little oxidation there. And then the fit from the convertible top to the window looks decent. On the right side, we'll touch on that, but you can see where it's off. Looking at the chrome here for the pull handle, looks decent, but you can see here where the paint's cracking there. Let's get some door readings. Let's see here. Did I get the fender readings? I forgot. Well, I'm going to do it now. Okay, 19.7. 19.7. So this thing's probably just caked on with Bondo so far. So I'm not even getting a reading there. So that's beyond use of Bondo. 19.7. 19.7. Okay, so we're just getting Bondo or body filler use all across the board here. We're at the left quarter panel again. High reading 19.7. Not even a reading. 19.7. Yep. Okay, so far Bondo across the board there. Looking at the left rear wheel area. And I still need to get underneath as well, and I'll be taking some photos. And then I checked out the tires too. I didn't see any damage. Tires are 235, 70, R15. Then I'm gonna do an about face here, and then we're gonna check panels here from the backside now. Kind of just start up here, then down, and I manipulate the lens or the angle as well. Going on here, rear bumper area, decent finish work. Okay, chrome looks good. Gaps are looking decent. I check for cracks around the wing area and the base. I know some people will lean on them by accident or not being conscious of somebody's car, and they'll crack it. So it looks good so far. All right. What's nice too is with full documentation, as this car is getting transported, if it arrives at your front door and it looks any different from what we documented today, then we know they need to get it taken care of for you. Oh, let's get the trunk readings here. 19.7, 19.7, 19.7. So I don't know how long ago this paint was done. Maybe you know, but what concerns me is about with so much Bondo use is at some point, you know, and given the driving conditions, I'm afraid that it might be cracking. But as of right now, I'm not seeing any prep issues. You know, I don't feel any waviness when I run my hands across the car, or unfinished work or sand marks. So even though it's got some Bondo on there, I mean, it looks like the workmanship is decent. Yeah, so I mean, at this point I don't even feel like I have to meter the car anymore, but I still will. All right, view of the convertible top, back window looks good, and get the parcel shelf area over here. Good. And so they're still messing with the windows. I think this is one of the windows that they were having problems with, so I'm not going to mess with it. And so that's still a work in process, right? Okay, looking at the handle. And let's get some meter readings. Yep. I'm not going to take so many this time, just to verify that I did check it. Okay, outside mirror nicely secured. Windshield looks decent, not seeing any blemishes here. A little dusty, so may not pick up on the lightest of rock chips or cracks, but so far looking pretty good. And you can see how the hood here is flush with the fender. And then let's get some fender readings. Also in the photos, I took clearance pictures, meaning I measured from the floor to the bottom of the lip here on all sides, just to see if the suspension is level, back to back, and front matches. All right, one final view before I move on. All right, so I've already captured while I was here when the vehicle was first started. It fired up on the quick turn of the ignition, and I was standing towards the rear of the vehicle, and I didn't see any black smoke. But now what I want to do is just document it for you, so that way we have record of it. And here we go. because from what Lynn was telling me that it's still not broken in. So I know he definitely wants to keep the RPMs under 3,000. So any performance driving, we'll make sure that he's present. So if something happens, then it's something that he can address. But I did rev it a couple of times. I also used the bypass as well. So you heard that. But mainly I just wanted to check to make sure there was no smoke coming out, whether it be blue, black, gray, or white. That all means something, right? But I'll be reviewing the video later on. Just walking in towards the cabin area here. Just a quick shot of the gauges. All right. Oil pressure tanked all the way to the high mark. Temperature gauge seems like it's above half already. I'll keep an eye on that. I don't know how accurate that is because I've only been running it for maybe 2 or 3 minutes. And then the fuel gauge is just at 3/4. Actually, I have an electronic thermometer laser pointer, so I'll check the temperature. Okay. And then walking towards the engine bay area, I've got the body tag there. And the brake fluid I can't check. It doesn't have an easy access, so I don't typically mess with that. Check the oil. That looked good. And Lynn was telling me that an alignment hasn't been done on here because the shims are missing there on the suspension. So just be mindful of that. Check the power steering fluid. Taking a look at the pulleys. Right. I don't see any wobbling. They look pretty decent. Hoses are nice and soft. And let's walk over here. Let's see if I can open up the radiator. Should be okay. I'm just stand to one side. Just want to make sure that there's no bubbling. Right. I already checked for cross contamination. Didn't see any evidence of that. Looks pretty good. Like you can see where it's circulating, and looks like a decent color. Good. Put this back on. I've got the engine casting number there, and just look at this side here, another shot of the pulley, and this side of the engine bay area. I'm not hearing any abnormal noises, and I don't see any signs of any exhaust leaks here on the top side. Sometimes you can see the burn marks passing the brackets, and I checked the automatic. The transmission fluid. So far, sounding pretty healthy. I've had the engine idling probably now for about almost close to 10 minutes, but the reading we're getting right now is 159, 160. And we'll take a look at the gauge again. Okay, yeah, just still same area, just above the half. So I'm gonna let it idle a little bit longer while I take the rest of the photos, and I'll check it when that just came out while I was leaving it at idle. He said that it's probably best that we just shut it down right now. He didn't want me to idle it too long, but he had said that he had recommended some changing over to an all-electric fan system. So again, I'm not here to cause any problems, so I shut it down, and I'll get one final reading here. And we're at 185. All right.